Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's discussion organized by Russian local network. It's a regional session on food systems sustainability, business impact. I am Lakida Alexander. I'm United Nations Global Compact Russia board chief, and I will be moderating this session that we organized. So let me introduce our speakers. So I guess we have a great combination here today, and we have the two leading food retailers in Russia. They both take more than 20% share of all Russian market. And we have one of the world's leading phosphate-based fertilizer. It's company Fosagra. So today we're gonna discuss the food system sustainability issues together with Elena Konova, X5 Communication Director, Sergei Kudryashov, Head of Sustainable Development Department at Fosagra Company, and Anna Mileshina, Director for Corporate Relations and Sustainability of PJSC Magnit. So let me say some words about a brief plan for our discussion. So we plan to have three blocks. The opening part. So here we will discuss the food system sustainability key challenges. The main part of the discussions, we will hear the opinions on corporate sector impact, and we will hear the best practices that will be presented by our speakers. And the final part, the resolutions and final thoughts. So coming on to the opening, to the first block. So my introduction is the following. So at the end of 2020, we saw that 88 million people were suffering from acute hunger due to conflict and instability. It's up to 10% from a year earlier. And the projections for 2021 indicate that this trend will continue with the climate shocks and of course with the global COVID-19. So let us discuss the list of challenges. It's performed by FAO, UN. It's a challenges and opportunities in a global world report. So this is a list of challenges in the 21st century. So I'm going to show it, share it on a screen. And my question to all of the speakers, please pick top 3 you consider to be the most meaningful or dangerous, and say a few words why you consider it to be like that. So I'm sharing my screen now. Can you please confirm you see it? Okay, great. So Elena, please open our discussion.
Hello, everyone, and thank you, Alexander, for inviting me to participate in discussion of such a significant topic. We as X5 consider definitely all the challenges that we can see on this list as important. And we believe that each of them is worthy of individual attention and solutions. For X5, answering your question and picking top 3, I can say that for us, for X5 as a leading food retailer, the most challenges are ending hunger and ensuring food access for all. And the second one is climate change threat and transforming food system. Some of the main priorities in our sustainable development strategy are solving these problems. When we developed the strategy, we focused on 4 CDGs where we can have the greatest impact. There were CDG number 3. It's it's about health and well-being. It's CDG number 12, responsible consumption and production. CDG 8. It's about decent work and economic growth. And of course, CDG 2, zero hunger.
Okay, thank you. Sergei, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. Dear Alexander, dear colleagues, thank you for the opportunity to participate in such a timely and necessary event. I'm representing Fosagro Group, Russia's leading and one of the most leading producers of phosphate-based fertilizers. The company supplies efficient plant nutrition system to consumers in more than 100 countries around the world. Thus, we are challenging the global hunger problem. At the same time, our priority remains the quality and the efficiency of the fertilizers we produce. This year, as you know, as a part of United Nations Decade of Action to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals, FAO is hosting the Food Summit to discuss critical issues of the food security. And one of the most important topics will be how to make the agricultural production sustainable from environmental and social point of views, and how to make agriculture products of a high quality and to ensure the full diet. We believe that this direction is fully consistent with one of our 11 SDGs that we as a company contribute to achieve. And is our priority companies, the food production and the industry. Another important challenge that is also consistent with SDG 2, Zero Hunger, is addressing the climate change. So we choosing the first and second as one of the key priorities, because the climate change also impacts the food security by the reducing of the soil fertility and degradation of arable lands on a global scale. Our company actively implements initiatives aimed at the conservation of natural resources. In particular, last year, we developed and adopted the water strategy aimed at reducing water intake and water discharges, and introducing closed-loop recycling systems, which already implemented at 2 of our facilities in Balakovo and Volkhov, and we are developing different activities to implement it around all our facilities. So our top 3 priorities will be top 3 in the list.
Okay, so Anna, again, your pick, your choice of top 3 challenges. The floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you. Good afternoon. First of all, very happy as my colleagues to be here today and to discuss those things which are obviously getting more and more important for the Russian market as well. As to the retail sector, it's something which plays, especially nowadays, a huge social role. And of course, when you have such a list of issues, challenges, which you see today on the slide, we understand that predominantly all of them are quite important for the retail sector. Once to put priorities, we as Magnit think you have to really bear in mind what impact you can do to drive positive change. So therefore, when we have analyzed what Magnit is today, we can say that the priorities doing with ending hunger and malnutrition is number 1. Our focus of today. The climate change threat is another one, and the transforming food systems is also the one which we think needs a huge effort from us to focus on. Why is that? If you look what Magnit is today, we have over 22,000 stores across Russia with the widest geography of about 3,800 Russian cities. And we're number 1 logistics company in the retail sector. Or having said that, and having also over 13 million customers visiting us today, every day, is definitely something where we can and should be doing an impact. So therefore, those 3 ones I have just identified are the core for our call for action and concentrated efforts.
That was really great to hear. So I would say to all of the audience who is watching us at the moment, we have been preparing for the discussion, but we didn't exchange our views. But I'm seeing that we're totally looking and thinking the same. So the top 3 are hunger, climate change, and transforming food systems. So that I think is a great start. And let's move to our second block. So I'm turning off the demonstration of the slide and we're getting into the discussion. So the second block is going to be about the corporate sector role. So my few introductory words, we usually hear the world has changed and that we are in search of the new normality. So the whole sustainable development agenda actually is about coming to the new normality, or as we usually hear, our only future. So speaking about the food system sustainability, it's one of the subsystems of the whole great system. So let us discuss first how dramatically the corporate sector role has changed. So my suggestion is to discuss this subject presenting the cases and best examples of partnership. I would cite with pleasure the UN General Secretary, Mr. Guterres, who said, partnership is the key to address world ills. So my question to all of the speakers here will be, please share with us your thoughts on how the corporate sector role in food system sustainability changed within the last 20 years. Which of your partnership cases you are proud of? What other cases inspire you? And let's speak about all of kind of cases. I mean, like partnership, business to business, or business to government, or business with social community. So let us start with, let me give the word to Sergey Kudryshov. Sergey, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. So this year, our company celebrates 20 years. And all these 20 years, sustainable development issues have been one of the key priorities for the company. The abbreviation ESG, we can say, and within the DNA of all the employees of our company, it's our mission. It's gratifying to note that an increasing number of leading Russian companies are paying attention to the sustainable development agenda. This is very important and not surprising. In the last decade, the term green economy has become increasingly used in academic investigations, researches, in the media as well, and in United Nations policy documents. Its meaning is the same in all languages. So the green economy is economy of the future, economy of life, and economy of humanity, we can say. Today, we keep actively working in the field of reducing, for example, greenhouse gases emissions. Taking into account the previously achieved results, last year we have set an ambitious goal to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 14% from a level of 2018 by the 2028. So it covers all three scopes. Scope 1, that are direct emissions from our activities, indirect emissions from energy, and also emissions in a supply chain and the consumers chain as well. In the third scope, that is related with associated with a value chain, we actively interact with academic institutions, our own institution, NEWIF, that is a unique institute that's making research in the field of new fertilizers in Russia, and also we're closely working with Russian Academy of Science to develop innovative products with positive climatic characteristics. Such products are, like, for example, fertilizers that's inhibitors of urea. So it's that allow us to apply fertilizers in the field, but we don't lose the nitrogen in as emissions in this case. So we increase the productivity in the field, and also simultaneously we decrease the impact on the climate. So we also closely working with UNESCO, with EUPAC in development of a very important program with Green Chemistry for Life. That's the program that supports scientific researchers around the globe that are developed by the young scientists. And so this scientific research also significantly impacts the climate change, the green economy development, the reduction of the waste generation in the different production processes. So This is like a scientific support to the further development of the world. For many years, our company has been implementing activities to switch to green energy. So now we are 40% self-sufficient with electricity generation that is related with using of steam and heat of our production. So it's reuse of resources. So that also decreases the amount of energy we consume. Mm-hmm. Today, there are growing concern about the harmful substances. And this is very serious, for example, in respect to the cadmium. So many countries around the world, and Europe is not something excluded from the list. So 27 countries in Europe has developed the threshold for the cadmium content in fertilizers. This is related with the potential impact of cadmium on human health. So if we're speaking about this, it's a potential cancerogenic properties of this element, and its content in the soil and in fertilizers should be reduced. So in 2022, Europe has already set the threshold for 60 milligram per kilogram of cadmium in per kilogram of pentoxide of phosphorus. And further investigation shows that it will be reduced and reduced and reduced gradually by 2030 and will reach finally the 20 milligrams. This is very serious, but it doesn't really impact our company because our content of cadmium is much lower due to the unique resource base that we have in the Kola Peninsula. So our mining activities develop the ore that contains very few cadmium. So even due to the concentration processes and the production process, the cadmium content is significantly lower than 5 milligram per kilo. So that is important. On the top of a code of conduct of sustainable use of management of fertilizers, we also would like to mention that 4R principles are very important in this case. And in this 4R principles development and promotion, we are closely collaborate with IFA, International Fertilizer Association. Mm-hmm. That's unite a lot of different companies around the globe and promote fertilizers and sustainable agriculture practices. That's very important to produce more on a smaller land available at the moment and to produce more for the growing population of the planet. So we all know that by 2050 we'll have significantly much more people on the planet, but we doesn't have more planets to produce the food. So we need to produce more with less. So that's important.
Mm-hmm. So yes, sure. Thank you. So I will just make some points that what I see. That I see that you're addressing all of your cases addressed to the main challenges that we just have discussed. That's first. Second, thank you for naming academia as one of the key partners and partnership examples. So everybody should partner with, because science that is what moving us forward. And again, I would mention that it's great that you are going globally. So you mentioned several partnership examples that actually go abroad. So it's not just within Russian Federation, but you're partnering globally. Great. So let me give a word to Anna Mileshina. Anna, so same question. So please tell us your opinion on the role of the corporate sector in food system sustainability, and share with us your examples.
Thank you. I was lucky to have been working on both sides, on the side of supplier and on the side of retailer. So therefore, I remember what happened 20 years ago from both sides as well. But what is interesting, I can tell you even what was the retail about 27 years ago, because Magnit originated in the south of Russia in 1994. And the role of corporate sector, if to mention at all, 27 years ago here was basically from the retailer's perspective to make sure that there is product availability. So the whole corporate effort was to start building a professional network of professional infrastructure that would be mostly about distribution, but for sure to make physically presence, to make products physically available in the outskirts, in the cities, towns of such a huge geography which Russia is about. So our first partnerships, if we talk about Magnit, were with our suppliers that would be also entering together with the company the small villages somewhere in Siberia with the products that customers there had not seen yet by that time. And when you analyze what it is about today, you see also a huge difference. Though still product availability is a good way to go forward. Therefore, we enter new regions like, for example, Ingushetia in the Caucasus, Dagestan, where there is no yet a modern retail there. However, there's another area of partnership, strategic ones, because our consumers today, they would like to have the best quality, to have no doubts about product safety, to have assortment, to have services. So we are committing nowadays partnerships in the area of building joint ecosystems for our communities, for our stakeholders, for our consumers. And of course, sustainability is quite a big part here, because what is good today, and again, it's a difference which with what was 20 years ago, 27 years ago, both retailers today, both retailers and suppliers, they have a joint strategic framework how to address sustainability. It's not a surprise nowadays that a company would have a sustainability strategy which is purposefully dedicated to certain areas of concern, which are very often applicable to the specific type of the business you operate in. So this long-term way to address issues which are important for society, for basically all stakeholders, that's, I would say, also a very positive change compared to what was 20 or 27 years ago. So therefore, when we talk about partnerships, of course, our suppliers are those whom we address and whom we work with jointly, first of all. We basically have their expertise because they know better than us the product they sell. We have also knowledge about our consumers, their behavior change patterns. Basically, we are the first fans in front of our customers. We have those 13 million visiting Magnit stores per day. Our colleagues in this sector also have a great amount of those. So therefore, jointing efforts, retailer plus supplier, that's a very good and wise mid-term and long-term partnership type from our perspective. Sustainable sourcing, this is something which is very important in the food system, and to ensure that we also conclude partnerships with agricultural companies, with farmers, with small businesses, with banks, with other B2B sectors in order to educate smaller businesses how to work with retail, how to develop competencies that would support them to do wise harvesting, to also do logistics, which can't be an exception nowadays. How to do forecasting. So all these business elements are very important for small businesses and for us, because we welcome local sourcing. We want as much of local products as possible on our shelves. First of all, that's what our customer wants. That's the first way to have as fresh as possible on your shelf. And that's also something which is a part of a sustainable diet, which is another part of a partnership opportunity. Nowadays, our customers, they are keen on having a kind of tool to follow a balanced diet. And they have retail as basically the only opportunity going, for example, to do shopping after office hours. So there's no time today to read books, for example, because it's time consuming. It affects your lifestyle, your working life balance, but you do shopping anyway. You do it either via e-commerce opportunities, or you do that in a traditional way, shopping retail. So there has to be a solution, how to talk with our consumers, how to develop, how to bring them knowledge, how to then also develop partnerships with NGOs in order to bring proper data and proper information about sustainable diets. So that has to be also part of the ecosystem where these type of partnerships are also of huge importance for us. And of course, waste management, green technologies, CO2 emissions, partnerships here are also important for us. And Magnit being also the only retailer with a vertical integration, we operate 15 agricultural and production units across Russia. So the scale of our impact, which I talked earlier today, is also huge in that specific area. Therefore, partnerships in green technologies in our agro business, green marketing, many green stuff is also on our agenda, and a topic to shape partnerships for progress.
Anna, thank you. And again, I would mention that the cases you presented really addressed those main challenges we've already discussed. So I have a question, but I hope I will be able to ask it. But first, let's give the floor to Elena. So Elena, same question about the role of the corporate sector and your cases and examples you got to present.
I fully agree with what ideas that Anna mentioned. The building of new type of food system that we really did together within the last 20 years, and maintaining and blustering food security system today. It has always been a challenge that requires a comprehensive strategy. At X5, we believe that that's necessary to focus on 3 key areas. First of all, it's supporting small businesses by working with the local suppliers. Our company currently operates in 66 regions of Russia. In total, we currently collaborate with more than 5,000 suppliers. And we understand that if we will work only with large players, we would harm small regional producers. And this is why we were working to expand our number of local partners. And now small and medium-sized businesses accounted for more than 70% of total numbers of X5 suppliers. We began collaborating with 1,300 suppliers last year. That's about 200 of which are individual entrepreneurs or small businesses. So we have local suppliers in our assortment, and in some regions, the share of their products reach 30%. And direction number 2 is supporting local communities by giving food to people in need. X5 was the first Russian retailer to use food drive technology as a way to providing food assistance for people who find themselves in difficult life situations. Our Basket of Kindness project, in cooperation with the food bank Rus, started in 2015. We hold food drives on a regular basis in a number of Russian cities. We arrange the collection of food in our stores, and then volunteers from X5 and Food Bank Rus put together bags of groceries, and then X5, our company, covers all the organizational costs and use our own funds to buy items that are needed to fill out their shopping baskets. And this project, why this project is very important for us? Because it creates an effective synergy. Shoppers perform a good deed together with retailer. And I would note that this project is being implemented with active participation of suppliers. that take part in our food drives. For example, Unilever, PepsiCo, P&G, Nestle, and many others. As you said, Alexander, partnership is a key to address all the world problems, all the world illnesses, yeah. And since this project was launched, more than 100,000 families have received assistance, and more than 600 tons of food has been collected and distributed. Last year, of course, we used our own resources to enable Basket of Kindness to provide food to hospital, to help doctors working with coronavirus patients. About 80 tons of food was sent to 80 hospitals in 17 regions. And case number 3 that I want to mention today in the direction of food security is reducing food waste. X5 is already distributing food that not expired but has become unsellable. And we distributing it to farms where it's turned into animal feed. Last year, Peterочка and Перекресток, our 2 biggest formats, supplied more than 86,000 tons of farms. And we are expanding this program every month. Mm-hmm. X5 also looking into supplying to produce to charitable organization before its expiring date, but current laws, it's not support us actively. It's not sufficient to support this sort of activity. Mm-hmm. And one more case I would like to mention today. It's a case about limiting climate change. It's last but not least, of course. Mm-hmm. Our strategic goals to 2030, we call them 30 for 30, include 30% reduction in greenhouse gas emission, 30% reduction in waste generation, and the use 30 renewable energy in our operations. We committed to achieving carbon neutrality by 2050. Mm-hmm. And by joining SBTi, we committed to setting science-based greenhouse gas reduction goals to meet the targets outlined in Paris Agreement. And we have already started converting our distribution center to green energy suppliers, as well as introducing energy saving solution in our stores. That's all cases that I want to mention today in our discussion.
Thank you. So now I'm having several questions, so I'm asking you to be brief. So I guess we just heard a fantastic point speaking about X5 and Magnit. So both of you in different manner probably, but you actually named your customers as not just your customers, but as a partners, the partners who contribute to the Sustainable Development Agenda. So like Elena just told, the shoppers are partners, and Anna also said something of the kind. So I guess this is a great finding, because speaking about, so being a United Nations Global Compact as a business union, we usually say about the corporate role, what business should do, must do, but we usually say that without without people, we won't achieve anything. We won't achieve those goals. So what I would like to ask you, there is a challenge, an issue. So Anna told that 27 years ago, one of the main goals was to give people ability to buy food in further or small villages far in somewhere in Siberia, etc., etc. Now, I guess the situation dramatically changed. So the retailer spread, so you present in most of the regions, and there is always a challenge. So how to please the customer on the one hand, and on the other hand, how to provide the reasonable consumption. So we know the issue about so-called flying food. So is it really necessary to provide somewhere in the north with man got produced somewhere in the middle of the wars? So how do you solve that? how are you trying to please the customer and at the same time teach them how to consume reasonably?
That's question to me or to Anna?
I guess to you both, as we both present same business. So, okay, Anna, please start. Mm-hmm.
Alexander, I think the answer is obvious. That's what competition is about. So if, 27 years ago, it was more about distribution. So nowadays, our customers, they want services, they want loyalty from retailers, and they are eager to pay back with their loyalty in case you make them happy. And that's, I guess, the core about competition nowadays, because indeed, there is nowadays a big choice of different retailers who basically are quite wise in terms of differentiating. However, if you go to specific areas, if your country is huge, as I mentioned, we have become now the first modern retailer to enter, for example, in Ingushetia last year. And we also announced our goal and our plans to enter the market of Dagestan, where there are very good retailers at the moment, but not yet federal chains. Not yet federal chains. So we will, through that, develop more local sourcing and also develop local businesses, because we need their products on their shelves. But getting back to your question about customers, that's a kind of a partnership also with the third parties who are eager to support us with knowledge, with data, our suppliers, local governments, because in the end of the day, we have to find the best tool, which will be a very practical solution for our customers, how to make with our support, how to make healthy lifestyle, for example, an obvious and easy way of living every day. So it has to be incorporated into the lifestyle of our citizens. Then therefore, one of our ambitions in our new sustainability strategy is to improve the quality of lives of the Russian citizens. If to look what we can do in the future, that would be something, again, we can do with our suppliers. Therefore, we have announced recently that Magnit, together with so far 8 international suppliers, but we will welcome more to join, will work on an initiative of joint efforts to promote healthy lifestyle and nutrition among Russian consumers. So those type of partnerships for progress, this is something which will also help us to differentiate probably. But in the end of the day, we all do the same thing. We contribute the way we can on ourselves and together with our partners, how to improve offer to our consumers and communities, because we are of course a part of the community.
Elena, please comment the same point, but I will just a bit add to that. So do you feel like the customers are ready to be educated in order to achieve and to get a better life, to turn their life into a better way of living?
Yes, I think so. Some part of our customers is absolutely ready to be educated, and I can say more. They are our teachers. They are interested in some healthy food or in ecological points of our products, and this is really clear requirement to retailer to provide them their products in our shelves with some clear information about certification or about responsible resources or about healthy. They want to be educated, and their share of consumers that want to be educated is rising now, and they want to be educated, and they teach us how to how to work with it, with this type of information.
Mm-hmm. So
not only our customers and ecological organization and our partner in some institutes, we have a quite interesting partnership in different type of organization right now. Mm-hmm. And they all play a huge role in our own education, how to educate our employees. I mean, within the company, with the points regarding sustainable development.
Mm-hmm. Sergey, actually, same line, but let's say from a bit of a different angle. As you work with those who produce food, who grow food, and as you just told us previously that I would say you are overarmed, you are over ready to the regulatory norms that are being established. So your percentage of containing the harmful inclusions is really low. But do you see that those farmers or companies are ready to pay for that? Are they ready to pay for that quality in order to achieve the sustainable development goals?
Ready for the production of a sustainable food, I would say. So this is a bit different. So the premium for the sustainable food in Europe, for example, at the moment is quite significant. For example, when it's organic and it's labeled organic in somewhere in Europe, so it's really a market that's growing very rapidly at the moment. And Russia, in this case, one of the countries that can produce and able to produce and have a capacity to produce organic food in a sufficient amount to feed the world. So in Russian Federation at the moment we have different stories. So organic food is a segment that's considered as a premium at the moment, and not all the consumers are able to purchase this product. But I believe that these products will be required on the market. But we need to also to avoid such a greenwashing in this case. So to label everything with a green, so it's something that is not fair for from a position of the customer. So customer consider that it's a green organic product produced with low carbon footprint, for example, or low water consumption on its standards, but if it's just a label or logo, then it's just fake. So we working with our customers in this case, and we introduced recently the green label for the fertilizers. That's also say that this product is free of any hazardous substances. So it's very healthy for the soil. It's good to be used, and with this product you can produce the healthier food. In this case, if you of course apply with the 4R principles and in the necessary regulations.
Okay, colleagues, just watch it. Miss the time because the discussion is going rather so interesting for me. I hope same to you. So we have really few minutes left. So let's get the conclusions, and please, we really have some final minutes to get it. Please tell me, what are the 3 actions to be taken in order we will not, let's say, miss the moment of change. So please, Anna, your top 3, I would kindly ask you to be brief and short.
Building on what Sergey has just said, it's really important that green products which appear in the market are really green. So I believe that certain technology has to be applied in order to make sure that this is the case. Also, if you look into the food waste issues, green technologies and expanding technologies that would support food waste opportunities, that's also an important area from our perspective. Food aid system is increasingly important, especially nowadays after COVID times. And here are a couple of elements which have to do about local legal frameworks. I believe Lena covered a bit about that. So even if you expand your food assistance, food aid programs targeting socially vulnerable customers, in the end of the day, there might be, and there happen, kind of legal restrictions. So that can be of an issue, and we need to carefully work on that. Food banking strategies, also an important area, which also partly depend, if you're looking in terms of one market compared to another market, that can be also a point for some kind of legal framework adjustments in the midterm. And the third point, again, we are not in isolation. We can't do things alone. We can be committed, we're all committed to driving positive change. However, it's all about partnerships and expanding those. That's the core element of our mutual success.
Elena, your top three?
Yeah, I agree. And I think also we need to continue developing our collaboration with new suppliers and partners. It's also important to establish a dialogue with them to share our values and knowledge through training courses, by making recommendations, etc. And number two, it's developing a dialogue between business and state regarding the taxes and restrictions that Anna mentioned on certain, especially in certain charitable initiatives. It's also very important. And we believe it is necessary to find a new taxation model so that business can become even more involved in socially important projects. For example, eliminating taxes on food sharing could make this process more acceptable. And third one is a collaboration among major players in developing industry standards. It's also would be effective response to many global challenges. For example, this spring, we presented a recommendation to suppliers for sustainable packaging. Experts and partners played a huge role in developing this recommendation. And we have also invited other retailers to join us, as we consider collaboration can be excellent opportunity for market to achieve our common goals. And in addition, we are striving to develop sustainability certification. And we welcome suppliers that have such certification, so that everyone has a common understanding of responsible production, respect of labor rights, and etc.
Great. Sergey, your top three, please add, just not to repeat what has been already said, just maybe something adds to that.
I'm muted. Sorry, I was muted.
Yeah.
So we, as a producer, so we have a little bit different views. So in our case, we are really considering that any protectionism on a market should be avoided. So when we see something like a cross-border taxes implemented, or any restrictions for the product to flow through the border from one country to another country, it can significantly impact first of all the consumers. So the access of a consumer to the quality product, to the product that we need in this case. So another thing that I consider that it's very important. So yes, regulations. So we need to clear and sustainable regulation that allow business to grow in a defined and understandable environments. So this is important, and moreover, that regulations support business transformation to the more sustainable way. So this is quite an important.
I would like to thank you for the discussion. That was really interesting. I hope both for me and for you. I'm sure that we presented lots of things and cases to pick. We presented lots of things that will inspire the audition, those who watched us. And really, the pill here is a partnership. The pill to solving the problem is a partnership. And one more thing to mention is that we must remember that we must act. So we must take those examples and bring them to action. Thank you. Thank you very much for the discussion. And I hope we will see you next year. Goodbye.
Thank you, Alexander.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.